I'm legally and medically female, but the people who oppose my existence still want to think of me as male. They use the language of that I'm a man. So fairness is the inclusion of trans women.
Do you think it's fair for you to compete in the women's category?
Absolutely.
Why?
Why not?
Hello boys, girls, and other. Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, unfortunately we have to drag a couple people, but what's really new, if we're being real. But before we jump right into today's train wreck of a video, I just want to briefly say that I have revamped my merch store to include clothes for fall and winter. It is getting freezing, not really in LA if I'm being honest. Everything's kind of on fire here.
Heavenly Father, please help us.
But I know that where many of you guys are, it is freezing, and I realized I didn't really have any hoodies, so that has been fixed. As always, the link is in the description to my merch store, and I love you guys so much for shopping at it. But let's get right into the video. So we're gonna be talking about this very interesting individual named Rachel McKinnon. Rachel McKinnon is a trans woman, also an athlete, a cyclist. So sports and trans people are always a very tricky topic, especially when you consider the fact that a lot of the sort of trans athletes we see in the headlines lately are literally all like 30, 40 years old, started hormones at 30, 40 years old, have decades of male puberty and male hormones to set them at an advantage. You know, for some reason, it never seems like any trans athletes that actually transitioned young. I couldn't tell you why. Now listen, I really don't know a lot about sports. It's never really been my thing, but I am naturally just sort of innately an amazing athlete. I know a lot of you guys were completely blown away by my Instagram video I recently put up. You know, that's just Tuesday. Now, Rachel McKinnon recently crushed, like just destroyed all the women in her competition, which is the Women's World Championship for cycling. Honestly, never heard of it. You guys know I'm not the one to know anything about sports. Throw that out there. I mean, whoever could have guessed someone who's biologically male would just destroy their female competition? I mean, could it be that there's a biological advantage? Could it be that we're completely ignoring that biological advantage for the sake of being woke and completely disregarding the women who work their entire lives to try to win a championship just to be beaten by this person? Okay, glad we're on the same page. Now, it wasn't enough for Rachel to completely shatter her competition. She had to then gloat about it and say that the only people that have an issue with it are losers. Very testosterone-y thing to say, if I'm being honest. Here's Rachel being interviewed by Sky News.
What, as you understand it, is their problem with you competing?
I'm legally and medically female, but the people who oppose my existence still want to think of me as male. They use the language of that I'm a man.
Okay, you can be legally female. That doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean that you're suddenly on the same playing field as women competing against you in a sport. That's literally just an F or an M on a piece of paper, on a document. And then as far as being medically female, you can still be medically female and have male anatomy as well. So what is the point?
But the people who oppose my existence still want to think of me as male.
Can we acknowledge sort of my pet peeve when all these sort of people, you know, are responding to backlash or naysayers or criticism? It's always like, well, the people who oppose my existence, the people who don't want me alive, the people who don't think I'm real. No one's opposing your existence, sweetie. I don't think the woman cycling next to you opposed your existence, but probably opposed your presence in her race. Just being real.
And so there's this stereotype that men are always stronger than women. And so if you think of trans women as men, then you think there's an unfair advantage.
No. I think there are plenty of people who see trans women and maybe, you know, the trans women in their lives, their friends or their family as women. They treat them just as a regular girl, but that doesn't completely change the biological reality of what's going on with your body. You can see it in plain sight. You can't deny it when you're looking at it. Wait, hold on. Okay, so just for curious purposes, I went to go to Rachel's Twitter and she has me blocked. I have never interacted with this person, never spoken about this person, and I'm blocked. I think she knew what was coming. I think she knew she was going to make it onto my channel. And this was a little just preemptive block. By the way, if you're wondering why I'm covered in bruises, I had a really crazy weekend in San Diego partying this weekend, so yeah.
We care about the Olympics. We care about our favorite football club. We care about the Rugby World Cup. We care about sport. It is central to society. So if you want to say, well, I believe you're a woman for all of society except this massive central part that is sport, then that's not fair. So fairness is the inclusion of trans women.
Yeah, life is not fair sometimes, and we're not always cool with the cards we've been dealt, but you don't become a bully and become arrogant about it. Not every lane is for you.
In strength sports, they have a 10% to 12% advantage in most scientific opinions.
At the elite level, right? So when we look at the very best athletes in men and women, you see this roughly 10 to 12% gap. But if we're talking about like the average man, no, that's not true.
But when we're talking about the IOC, we're talking about the elite level, aren't we?
Of course.
Oh my God, she just dragged her. I was gonna say the exact same thing. I was gonna pull those numbers up myself. Thank you for doing it for me, girl. Rachel had nothing to say to that. So here's one where Rachel says that sports are a human right. Sports are a human right? Do you know what a human right is? Like, what? Life has gotten too easy that we're sitting here talking about if sports are a human right. You don't have the innate right as a human being to participate with other human beings in a sport. What are we talking about? The entitlement, the unlikability is just off the chain with this person. So let's take another look at another athlete, Mary Gregory.
Yet another male to female transgender powerlifter that has actually broken some world records. So this powerlifter, Mary Gregory, put up a post on Instagram that she won 9 out of 9 events, meaning she got 3 white lights on all 3 lifts, setting a new Masters world record squat, a open bench press world record, and a Masters world deadlift record.
Mary is a deadlifter. You cannot make this up. It's a trans woman deadlifting against cis women. Men have more upper body strength than women. That is 100% a fact. This person, again, just shattered records. Like, it's almost comedy how these trans women compete and, like, they're not losing, not even second place, not third place, not mid-range. They're, like, all winning by far. I'm sorry, but all you have to do is look at these people. Does this look like someone who should compete against women? Regardless of if you consider trans women women or men or something in between or whatever, it's clear just by seeing it. Are people going insane? But on the real, like I said before, when it comes to trans athletes, they benefit from years of testosterone being in their body. And yes, when you go on hormones, certain things do change. Your body composition does change, absolutely. I started getting way more fat in my hips and my legs and my upper body. I did become weaker after going on hormones. But there are certain things that are irreversible that are absolute advantages when it comes to sports. Height, for example. I naturally am kind of short. I'm 5'5", but from the looks of it, these people are not 5'5". Bone density, thickness, hand size, wrist size, arm size, all of that develops and then you can't reverse it. It will always be an advantage. Especially when it comes to deadlifting. Like, are we just all going crazy? Like, I don't understand how this isn't just obvious to people. I really don't. I can really only imagine the frustration of women competing against these trans women. I mean, in a lot of the cases, it's just not even a close call in terms of fairness. So I think we should all be invested in sort of regaining reality and perspective on this issue because it's really embarrassing personally for me as a trans person, just saying. And it's actually not fair at all. But that is it for this video, you guys. Don't exit because I'm going to remind you to hit the subscribe button if you haven't. I know this is the second, third, fourth video you've watched of me and you haven't hit that button yet. I would really appreciate it if you did. Please do it. And hit the bell. Follow my socials because half the time YouTube will not notify you of a new upload unless you're following my Twitter and my Instagram. Check out that new merch I mentioned earlier in the video and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.